Diary of a Wimpy Kid review.
3 down, 1 to go. We are talking about a film that finished off the original trilogy, another film that we saw in theaters, and this one I won't want to say kicked off the summer. This came out in August of 2012. It was just about a year after the first two, because first one came out in 2010, second one came out in 2011, third one came out in 2012. The turnaround was great for these 3 films.
Yeah.
You only had to wait about a year, maybe even a little less. Because I think they were in production each time. When the first one came out, they were already getting in production for the second one.
Yeah.
It was just that popular. So we saw this in August, beginning of August of 2012. This is a perfect way to end the summer. And this is Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days.
20th Century Fox presents Greg.
I'm gonna take a little vacation.
Rowley.
I feel like a gangster right now.
Fregley.
What's that supposed to be?
It's a human head. And look, he's smiling.
Sherrod.
I have been ensnared by my own handiwork.
Holly.
Why don't we play doubles? Patty and me versus you two.
Patty.
Yes! I mean, sorry.
Manny.
No!
Want to see my hands?
Sweetie. And Roderick.
When did you get a tattoo?
There's a lot of things you don't know about me, Greggy.
This summer.
In case we don't make it, something I have to tell you. One time, I went to the bathroom, and I didn't wash my hands.
One time, I used your toothbrush to get dog poop off my shoe.
What?
Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Dog Days.
Away on a little vacation.
Third film in the trilogy. Don't need to go any further than that, because
It should have been the last.
Should have been the last, because this was, in my opinion, a near perfect ending to this story. And this film takes the strengths of the first 2 films and carries them over into this movie.
Yeah.
What this movie does differently that the first 2 movies did not. This movie is called Dog Days, which is technically based on the 4th book.
Yeah.
The first movie was based on the 1st book. The second movie was based on the 2nd book. This movie...
They skipped the 3rd one.
This movie doesn't skip the 3rd one, which we originally thought. This movie combines the 3rd book, The Last Straw, and the 4th book, Dog Days, and puts them into the same movie. And I thought that was going to be terrible. I didn't think it was going to work, but... wow, it did. It straight up did. And I think the elements of both books will work really well. And I didn't expect the writers to actually be that clever with, like, mixing the stories of 2 books.
Yeah.
Because in the past, when people have tried to do that with movies, it's failed miserably.
Mm-hmm.
It really has. So this was a complete surprise. This is my second favorite of the original trilogy. I think we saw this in the theaters. Didn't your dad go to see this with us?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Oh my God, that was years ago now. Yeah, this was just a blast. It was the first summer-themed Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and the only one.
Yeah.
And the returning cast came back. It was a blast. The mixing of 2 books, like I said, was really good, and this gave me everything I wanted from a third Diary of a Wimpy Kid film. Well, also, giving us a story about Greg and his dad.
Yeah.
First book/film was about Greg and Rowley. Second one was about Roderick and Greg. This is about Greg's dad and Greg.
Yeah.
And that was the plot of the 3rd book in a nutshell, but they decided to do that with Dog Days, which was mainly just kind of the summer vacation Diary of a Wimpy Kid film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they took the best elements of both books and put them into this movie, and this movie was very fun.
I agree.
I think that's kind of the plot.
Yeah.
Because I kind of agree. Like he wants recognition and he wants acceptance from his dad, which he's never really had. Mm-hmm. And it's about he and his dad's relationship, but it's also during a summer where they're off from school. School is out for the summer. Yeah. He hasn't gone into 8th grade yet, Greg. Yeah. And he's wanting to play video games all summer. Yeah. And his dad's not okay with that. So the way that they mesh the 2 storylines together works really well. They get a dog in the 4th book, so that's in this movie.
Hence the name Dog Days.
Hence the name Dog Days. That actually was clever. Dog Days is also a term that relates to summertime.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a double meaning of a title, which I really liked. So we've talked about the cast in the first two reviews. Zachary Gordon is Greg. I think I don't know if he's the best in this movie, but he's certainly better than the first movie.
I think the dad's the best in this film.
The dad is the best in this film. Steve Zahn. He's also second credit in this film because he gets the most screen time.
Yeah.
So much fun. Greg and his dad's relationship and their interactions in this movie was hysterical. So good. So good. So they're both really good. Robert Capron as Raleigh. Again, he is Raleigh.
Yeah.
He just is the character. Devin Bostic as Roderick. Not as much screen time as in the second film, but still a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There's a whole sequence. Roderick is trying to impress the older sister of Holly Hills, who is a total brat.
Yeah.
Very unlikable character. And unlike The Long Haul, this unlikable character works well in this story.
Yeah.
Because she's the only unlikable character.
Yeah.
Everyone else is really likable. And we'll get to the actress who plays her, but Susan Heffley, played by Rachel Harris, great again in this movie. Fregley, Chirag, Coran Brar, and Grayson Russell. Peyton List, Holly Hills. She gets more to do in this movie. And she and Greg have a easier back and forth. It's not so awkward anymore. It's more like they're starting to kind of find their groove.
Yeah.
And I think she was much better in this movie as well. Lane McNeil's Patty Farrell. Oh my God, the tennis match. The tennis match with Holly and Patty against Greg and Raleigh. It was funny in the trailer. It's funny in the movie. I still love that scene.
Same.
They don't know how to play tennis at all, and Patty literally is just kicking their butts.
Yeah.
And Holly's trying to help them, but they're getting hit in the groin, they're getting hit in the face.
Yeah.
Patty goes to town on them. I love it when they get hit, and then she's like, yes! Like, you know, like an evil twin.
Yeah.
And then Holly looks at her like, and she's like, oh, I mean, sorry. Just perfect. Perfect for her character. Manny back. Melissa Roxborough played Heather Hills, and she played the character really well. She's unlikable in the book, Dog Days. She's incredibly unlikable in the movie, but she gets her comeuppance at the end of the film for sure, and that's what makes it all worth it. Because for instance, not to keep bringing up The Long Haul, but in The Long Haul, unlikable characters never really got their comeuppance. They never really got their own. In this, the one unlikable character is humbled in a couple of different scenes, and it just makes you really happy that they kind of got a reality check.
Yep.
And that would be this character of Heather Hills. So I think she worked well in the movie, and she worked well too as the older sister of Holly, because she clearly is not really anything like Holly.
Yeah.
Oh, and Roderick's trying to hook up with her too.
Yeah.
And that is a hilarious subplot that goes completely off the rails.
I mean, when he sings Baby by Justin Bieber. That's probably the one scene I remember the most.
Because it was just so memorable, and it wasn't supposed to be good, but it wasn't cringy in some ways, because he was genuinely trying, and he knocks over a bunch of stuff, and it's just the perfect amount of dumb without being over the top stupid. Yeah, that's towards the end of the film. But the actual end of the film is Greg wrapping up saying his relationship with his dad has obviously changed, and they're good now. One of the sweetest scenes in the movie is them sitting on a bed in a hotel room, and they're just talking about their experiences of the last couple weeks, and just that he wanted acceptance from his dad. Great scene. Great scene. And they go through plenty of bumps in the road in this movie, but it all feels very natural. Their chemistry is excellent together. I just, I really, really enjoyed it. Also, the camp element, when they go to that camp in the third film, that's in the third book. So again, they put that into the movie, along with the fourth book being in the movie too. So that was an element from the third book that I'm glad that they carried over. So I think that's about it. Do you remember if Coach Malone's character was in this or not?
I don't think he was.
I honestly don't remember. If he was, it was a quick scene. I'm going to see. He was.
Really?
Andrew McNee is Coach Malone. It says he was. It must have been a quick scene. I honestly would have to watch the film again to remember where his scene was. But he's always good as that character. I mean, he's just a blast. Did you say this was the second shortest film of the three?
No, this is the second longest.
That's right. This is only second to Roderick Rules.
Yep.
Which makes sense because Roderick Rules, in my opinion, our opinion, is the best. Makes sense that it would be the longest because we had such a good time watching it. The runtime didn't matter.
Yeah.
And despite the long haul being the shortest, it felt like it was the longest. Like, I thought it would never end. I'm like, credits.
Me too.
Credits. Roll the credits! But enough talking about that. If we start talking about that again, I'm gonna get a migraine. It'll go on forever. I'm gonna get a migraine. David Bowers returned again to direct this film. Again, the directing was solid, just like Roderick Rules. No complaints. No complaints about that at all. Cinematography, let me guess. Oh, Jack N. Green didn't do it. It was Anthony B. Richmond. That surprises me. This is a good-looking film. It really captures the element of summer. I love the opening at the community pool.
Yeah.
It might even be a better scene, in my opinion, than the roller derby opening scene in Roderick Rules.
Really?
Maybe. I'd have to think about it, but I just love... I love when they're getting out of the car and it's their animated counterparts and then it shows them as people.
Yeah.
I love that animated element to the movie. It's so much fun. Yeah. And that was in the trailer, too, so that was just... It just worked really, really well. And that community pool scene at the beginning, just like Roderick Rules, is a perfect opening for this movie. And then, of course, the main credits go, and you see the title, and could go on about that forever. And the original music, we already talked about it. It's Edward Shearmur, who did Roderick Rules and The Long Haul. Yeah. Great musical score in this film. Since we're on the topic of music, the last, at the end credits song for this movie, I don't know the artist, but what is it? It's Summer Vacation, I believe, is the name of the song. It's the ones that gonna go away on a little vacation. Cool. Little Vacation, something like that. Can't remember the artist, but it was a perfect song to end this movie on, and it kind of invoked feelings of the "What Do You Want From Me" song by Forever the Sickest Kids from the first film.
Oh, wow.
I just thought it was a really good way to end the film. Animated end credits as usual, blast to watch.
Yeah.
And this film wraps it up where, like, when it shows the cast at the end and the end credits, it shows scenes from all three of their films in that little animated segment.
Yep.
And it felt like the perfect way to end this series, because at the time we didn't know this was going to be the last movie.
Yeah.
But we saw that the actors were getting older, so we were like, how long can they keep this up?
Yeah.
Because in the books, Greg doesn't age.
I know.
It's weird. Like, he goes through the grades, but they keep treating it like he doesn't age.
Yeah.
I don't know. That continuity can't be in movies because actors do get older.
Yep.
And this was the last film with this original cast. I thought they did a great job. This is the one I've rewatched the least. It doesn't mean it's not a great film. I really enjoy it. And having said that, I would very much like to rewatch this again soon.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna score Dog Days. Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. Not quite as good as Roderick Rules. Better than the first film. I'm going to give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Really?
I really do.
Wow.
Yeah, I really enjoy this movie a lot.
Yeah, I think, like Roderick Rules, I'm going to score this a little lower. I'm going to give it a 7.
You give it a 7?
Yep.
Same score as the first one.
Yeah.
That's fitting. Yeah, that makes sense. So if you haven't already guessed, we do recommend all of the first three Diary of a Wimpy Kid films. A lot of fun. It's nice that they carry over because same characters, same cast. Don't have to go any further than that. And you won't regret watching this trilogy as long as you just stop at movie 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are our thoughts on Diary of a Wimpy Kid Dog Days. We'll be back at some point soon to talk about another film. I'm not sure which one that'll be, but we'll let you know when we know what that film is.
Maybe we could do the original 6 Star Wars movies.
Yes,
and episode 9.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Our Rise of Skywalker review is coming very soon because that's coming out on Blu-ray at the end of this month. So that might be our next episode, next review. It might also be a little further down the line, but that is coming. Our Joker review is coming. Gotta find kind of fix a couple issues with that. And we've also got Solo, Rogue One, and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So plenty of reviews coming, plenty of content. We will see you guys in our next review. Thank you for watching.
See ya.